There we go. Hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. It is Saturday, the 18th of April, and I have got, is it a Saturday? It feels like Saturday, feels like a Thursday, feels like a Tuesday. You know, I don't know what day it is anymore. Anyway, I've got Leighann. Let me find you here, Leighann. I changed up my show this morning. Good morning, Leighann. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Leighann Lord, she's a comedian and actress and all kinds of amazing things. She's a lot of fun. She has a show tonight. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But I also want to bring in our guest today. Let me find it over here. Like I said, I moved all my crap around. I even have my glasses on today and I still screwed up. Good morning, Dick. How you doing?
Good morning. Oh, doing great here. Thanks. And everybody on the panel, everybody doing well?
Yep.
Yes.
I waited until you lifted the cup to your face before I threw you on.
That's a pro move there. That's a pro move.
I was waiting for it.
Dick is with the Shills. If you don't mind, Dick, tell us who you are for a moment. Let our people know.
Dick Dawson, lifelong musician, IT professional, got together with some friends of ours. We started that show, The Shills. We've turned it into the iNetwork channel now because we have more than the Shills on the show. So we're doing lots of different shows and, just having fun on YouTube because, well, there's nothing else to do right now in the world, is there?
Very true. Very true. And of course, Miss Leighann Lord, how are you doing? Did you have a good week?
I think so. I don't know.
So?
I went food shopping, which is like I have to mentally gear up to do that, because I hate it anyway, and now it's like a thing. And I was like, oh wow, okay, scarf, face mask, gloves, and then you forget something and got to go back. It's like, I forgot the liquor. Next time I get that first.
That's right. This week was the first week. I went out for the first time ever in my adult life wearing a mask, and which to where I wasn't robbing a place. And I went in to get this pizza, and I was wearing this mask, and they were looking at me like I had a bug on my face or something, And it's just strange to find. Did I tell you about my experience going to Walmart? I went to Walmart one day, and I went down there, and there was some. Where they give you the stuff, though, the little wipies wipe down the cart with. Well, that thing was empty. And I was like, oh, man, that's empty. And then they had a paper towel thing with a spray bottle. And I grabbed it so I could wipe down the thing. And it was empty, too. So now I've grabbed all the nasty shit that everybody else has walked through there has grabbed. And I got nothing. I had to go all through that store. I was so paranoid, got back to the car, didn't touch the steering wheel, wiped off, didn't touch my phone, didn't touch my face. What kind of world we live in? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. So are face coverings not standard where you are?
Well,
is that?
They are now, and that's why this past week, I wore. Well, if I'd had the mask before, I would have been wearing it, but because I'm a believer, there's bad stuff, bad juju going on out there.
Yes.
And so I would have. But this was the first time I had a mask, and normally my wife, she's a nurse, and she gets everything on the way home, and I don't go out very often, So I'm all secluded. And then to throw me out into it.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different. And I'm like, why is this on my watch? Come on.
Yeah.
Right. Gen X deserves better. We really do.
True.
Come on.
That's right. How many people were saying there as Rome fell, they're going, why the fuck am I going through this? Hundreds of years we've been succeeding.
I bet you, right? You know what? Mentioning that, I bet there were people in Pompeii going, now?
Right now.
Really?
Right now. We finally got that camel paid off.
I guess there's never a good time, is what we're saying.
Yeah, that's true. But I've seen many apocalypse movies, and so far this is the best one.
Well, it's got a tinge of realism to it, doesn't it?
I don't live in New York though. I live in New Mexico, so it's a whole different world.
Say, in my version of the real life apocalypse, The Rock is president.
Oh wow!
And and he's gonna fix it, and then call me. Dream big, everybody, is what I'm saying.
That's what you need, though, is a president that can jump off a falling skyscraper, land on a helicopter, drive a car around a corner at 2 million miles an hour. He'd be the man.
I don't think that's too much to ask.
And he can also do smolder.
Did you
Smolder
see me
is
funniest parts of that
important.
movie, man?
I smoldered right here for free.
That was awesome.
Can you imagine? Like that's the entry test. Like, can you smolder?
Check, got smolder.
Well,
smolder
For
down.
a few of the movies he's been in, that probably was the audition now. Let's face it, right? I mean, you know.
Well, all except for
Got
the
you back
tooth
on that
fairy.
one, atheist.
Yeah, I think all except for the tooth fairy. I don't remember much smoldering in the
I
tooth
don't
fairy.
remember I don't remember that either. But you know,
Or
Dwayne
Escape the
Johnson.
Witch Mountain.
Dwayne Johnson in a tutu.
Yeah, loved
No?
it. It's so funny. It's so
It's too
funny.
early for that, guys. Easy now.
Sorry, I'm sorry. We have to pace ourselves.
Well, you know,
I've never
he's-
seen that one though.
I actually I enjoy his movies. I like the Jumanji. I like the what's that other one? Rampage. I when I was a
Yes.
kid, Rampage was a video game, you know,
Mhm.
and I was a poor kid. I never really got to play it. I played it maybe once or twice. I had no idea what the concept of the game was. You ate people, I think, but the movie was awesome. I really enjoyed the movie.
They're the kind of movies where as long as you go into it knowing what you're going to get, you're going to have a great time.
Right,
But if you start analyzing the plot and stuff, just you know, go
Have
back
fun
to a
with it.
dictionary or an encyclopedia or something because you're in the wrong room.
Right.
You know,
right.
apply the
Well,
same thing you apply to the what's that movie with the anti-Spider-Man? I can't believe I'm spacing on it.
not the Spider-Verse multiverse
Venom.
one.
No, go. You know, when you watch a movie like
oh.
Venom, just apply the same kind of skepticism and just go on with it, and you'll enjoy the movie. The Dwayne Johnson movies are wonderful. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed them. Yeah.
Well, the problem is I think if you come from a sci-fi background and you start sciencing
Mhm.
and you have to step back like, oh, okay, wait, this is a blockbuster movie. This is
Yeah.
fantasy. You
Yeah.
know, so you got to dial back that, well, that's not logical. You know, you got to turn your Mr. Spock down.
Yeah, I was just going to say, put Spock back in the pocket,
Yes.
relax, and enjoy.
Yeah.
Goodness, I just want to take a moment and say hi to the people in chat. Ozman coming, haven't seen you around in a while. Hope you're doing good. Brain Bug. You know, if you're familiar with Starship Troopers, Brain Bug from Starship Troopers is here.
Oh, yes.
That's the
Yes.
reference.
wow.
Yes.
Yes,
Yay.
Brain Bug is here joining us. Love Brain Bug. Always fun. Sucks the brain right out of you every time. I've got some bud that does that. What's it
Wow,
called? Like
wow.
green crack or something.
Yeah, sounds like TV.
Yeah. Ilya Moon is here. Good morning, Ilya. KCA Randy, Dick Dawson. Hey, Dick Dawson's in the chat. Oh, hi. Yeah, so good morning to everybody. Glad to have you. Yo is here. Yo estoy aquí. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I've got Leighann Lord and Dick Dawson, for those of you who don't know, here with me today to talk some sci-fi of a fashion.
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Well, that's why I wore my disco shirt today.
Did you? Let me look over here. Oh, I see. Look at that.
Yes. And for those of you who do not know, I'll let you pass this time. Disco is short for Discovery, Star Trek Discovery.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh.
Right. Because Star Trek Discovery is that Star Trek that can't do its initials, because that's
Ah.
STD.
Oh.
I didn't know any of
Right.
that. She was like disco, and I'm
disco.
like disco.
That's too
Right.
funny.
That's what
That's
I was
different.
thinking. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome.
And I didn't really STD. Wow.
Yeah. I don't think they
Wow.
thought that one out.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. They,
Because you can do DS9, you can do TNG, STD, not so
Yeah,
TOS.
TOS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TOS. Yeah. STD. Wow. And you know,
Is it too early for that?
Herpes.
Mind
The case that will never
blown,
leave.
right? And then to go on with it. Wow, Leighann, that's wonderful. Yeah, I didn't never.
Yeah, well, I do what I can.
I learned
Bye.
something
Yeah, I never
new all
thought
the
of it either.
She's out,
My
bitches.
work is done here.
Right. Wonderful. The Empathetic Atheist. Good morning, Justin. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, see, I learned something today about the Star Trek. Wow.
That was very South Park. You know, I learned something today.
I did. You know, well, I'm pretty into the Star Trek, and I know a great many things. You know, I've known a great many things. The older I get, the more I forget. You know, But to learn something about, well, the new one is just new, but that's kind of obvious. Star Trek Discovery. I don't know why it's never come up before. STP?
No, but I bring it up as often as I can.
Thank you. I'm going to have to make a meme now to get the word out on that one. But, STP, you old enough for STP?
The motor oil?
The motor oil stuff you put in or Star Trek Picard.
Oh.
Or if you're into flannel, Stone Temple Pilots.
There you go.
I think Picard is still too new to have an acronym, because I think people just call it Picard right now.
Well, after the last episode, shouldn't we be calling it Data 2.0?
Ooh, nice. So I'm assuming you have seen the entire season then.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
you know what I did too
rewatch.
was I held back and I didn't watch until they were all ready and then just got into it. And it was so hard to hold back and not read news. Oh, it was killing me. Okay. But it was good.
And now y'all are talking about Picard, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And no spoilers. No, you haven't. No. I don't.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So Dick, to catch you up on the thing, let me tell you what the thing is. Me and the wife, she was kind of not a Star Trek or not a sci-fi person. I've eased her into the world, possibly painfully so for her. But she started was because she liked Picard or the captain, not the show. From the Next Generation, she was willing to start watching the Next Generation with me, and she's watched the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine. I think she's a Deep Space Niner now. That's her favorite, I believe. I could be wrong. Voyager, which she enjoys as well. And then now we're going through Enterprise, and Enterprise is like, man, pull my fingernails off. Just tell me I don't have to watch this next episode. It's really hard to get through Enterprise for us.
But there is a good few things in Enterprise. The Andorians kick ass in Enterprise.
That's true.
Yes.
But
God, they were well done.
Pink skin.
Pink skin. That's wonderful. And I love the actor. And we need to get back to that because there's this length of the Bible where you just don't see them. I think you barely see them a little bit in the beginning. We're in the middle of season 2 and we haven't seen them again in quite a while, or at least it feels like an eternity. Maybe because we haven't been, we stopped watching them. But you're right. That's a great point. Shran I've seen them before.
Shran, yes.
And my wife has never seen it. So this is the first time for her, but Shran is just wonderful. So that's a good point.
Right.
That is great. But we're having a hard time with any of the crew. Go ahead.
Well, the engineer guy drives me crazy.
Really? Yes. Why?
Me too, actually.
I find he's clinging on to the persona of that just cool guy engineer thing a little bit too hard in the time and place he is in his reality. You don't get to be that, I'm just going to do it my way and all that kind of crap when you've come up through a military structure to get onto the flagship. I just don't buy it. Fuck you. Oh, sorry. Screw you. I don't buy it. It was too much. But I mean, it's television. It's going to happen, right? Yeah. Of course,
I don't care for his character for a couple of reasons. I'm from the South, and I think the characters has lots of issues. But I agree with you. The same thing. It's just I don't like him. I don't like Malcolm Reed, the security officer who whines and cries about everything. Yeah. He just always. I'm like, dude, really? You're going to whine and cry about that? Oh, please don't whine on this. No, not this episode. Not another. Oh, here it is. Hoshi, she's really cute. I don't really like to gauge a character or person just solely on their appearance, but let's go with that for a moment. She's really cute. Mm-hmm. Her character opens with whining and crying about and bitching and complaining about being out there doing this wonderful thing that they're doing. And it's just all of the main characters are really hard for us to, after what we've been through with Deep Space Nine, where you just I love Cisco, man. I tell you, if I could be Cisco, I would be Cisco. I'd shake my head.
Yeah. My son's middle name is Avery because of Cisco.
Wow. See? Okay.
Oh,
we
wow.
that guy on this show. Yeah. Valencia Burns.
Oh, yeah.
We got somebody new in the chat. Valencia Burns says good morning to Miss Leighann.
Hey, Valencia.
Yeah.
Woo.
What a cool name.
Wonderful lady, great fan. Thank you, Valencia. Thank you for showing up.
Awesome.
I'm actually trying to look up who the security officer is on the Enterprise because I'm having a blank.
Oh, Malcolm Reed. I don't remember the actor's real name.
Oh, I can't do. I either know your real name or your character name. I
Either
can't.
or. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
Malcolm
can't always
Reed.
do both.
But you know, I mean,
You know-
he's just a blankest character. What's his favorite food? I mean, they go through this thing about how literally the whole episode is wrapped around how boring this guy is.
Him.
Yeah, how boring he is.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just,
Now-
and then he whines
Yeah.
and complains, "Leave me, sir. Run away. Leave me here to die." Oh, fuck, dude. Get up, man. Get up. Get the hell on. Grow up hair.
Think about it this way. If Enterprise was the forerunner of the original series, because I always have to set it in its time.
Yeah.
Maybe they use this crew to sort of fine-tune who actually got into Starfleet Academy.
Man, this is the filter.
Right. Like, okay,
Yeah.
first thing, no whiners. No
Yeah.
complainers.
If you're going to be a security guard.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Yeah, it's just and then, I mean, I've always enjoyed Scott Bakula, the captain.
Yeah, but
I don't enjoy the captain. I don't
No.
enjoy him.
well, he
as
went
the
to
captain.
but to be captain, Scott Bakula pulled out the William Shatner Book of Acting. Like, he was not Scott Bakula.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
it was terrible. He was so much better in Quantum Leap.
Yeah, and he's such an arrogant character too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
Charlton
My father
Heston
did
man of
this.
the-
My
one of
father
the-
did this. My father.
Yes.
My father. That's all you ever hear from him.
Yep.
Shut up.
What were you saying
Well-
about the Charlton Heston thing? That was a great analogy.
Yeah, no, he's very Charlton Heston, Planet of the Apes, the beginning. This, I am human, I am man, I am great. What is going on here?
Yeah.
I was like, are you serious? Like, did you just walk in with all your privilege? Like, what?
Absolutely. And you know,
Yeah,
it's,
very-
one of the things that's kind of odd is I think we already me and Miss Leighann may or may not have talked about the over sexuality of some of the characters. Looking at you, Jerry Ryan and 7 of 9. That's not her fault, of course, but the character's fault. But when it came to Enterprise, the very first episode, we had Chick's nipples out with her little blue top, right? The very first episode, they're rubbing down in the quarantine area, and to Paul, you can see. I mean, the doctor did a wonderful job, and they point that way, and you know this because you can see them. And normally, you don't see that stuff in Star Trek, but they really, really, really want you to like to Paul. And then, so you don't see any more of that kind of really in your face kind of nipplage per se throughout the show, but you do see a lot of very scantily clad men and women. They love to show the guys run around in their underwear with their little bulge hanging out. They love that shit. Scott Bakula without his shirt on, love it. I'm like, dude, how'd you get your shirt off again in this episode? I mean, no knocking you, dude. You're like 48 and you're fucking ripped. I got it, but still, I don't need to see that shit every episode.
Well, they probably had Kirk in the back of the set going, "Bring out the rock monster. You always lose your shirt for that one."
Well, that's how my biggest annoyance with space movies. You remember? I can't remember the name of the one with Sandra Bullock. I think it was her, and she's floating around the ship by herself. And I'm like, how are you in a t-shirt and biker shorts? Like, why do women never get a full uniform? Like, men always have long sleeves and long pants, and all women have are tank tops and bikini bottoms. How did you not get the proper uniform requisition? What is happening?
Right. You ever heard of jogging pants, honey? They work well in space.
Right.
Well,
yeah. I promise you, my first space assignment, I'm wearing yoga pants and a sweatshirt. That's what's happening. Because space is cold.
It's uncomfortable. We want to enjoy it. But you know, there are comments. Lamont Stewart says he actually liked season 3 of Enterprise where they had a storyline season. You know what? And that's kind of, as we chug through season 1, man, I was like, oh goodness, now we're into season 2. I'm like, a couple of them are a little better, but still there's this. Get better. Yeah. But I know what happens at the end of season 2, the beginning of season 3. And I'm eager to get to that because despite the fact that back when it was happening, they were started with a 2 and 3 arc series. I didn't like it. This is not my Star Trek, people. This is not let me tell you how it's going to be. I'm going to type you up a letter. This is how it's done. You don't do 4 arc episodes every freaking time. There was a 4 arc episode. Now a 4 arc episode. No, you save that shit for the end of the season. and they were doing
Yeah.
it. But now looking back, those are probably a lot better stories and a lot better. I may enjoy those more now if I just shut off that not liking it crap and just watch it and enjoy it. Because I remember there's some good shit going on.
Yeah, it's hard when you come in with your concept of what your Star Trek is.
Preach. I'm trying.
Yeah, which makes it almost impossible for a lot of people to like Discovery. Yeah. You know, like what?
I haven't even watched it yet.
Really? Oh man, come on.
I'm scared to. I'm scared to because it's one of those meet your heroes moments. You know, you drive a classic car and you go, "Oh, this thing sucks." Actually, like I just don't want that. I'm scared. You know.
Did you talk about? What were you talking about? Discovery?
I mean, look.
Yeah,
because I mean, look, Enterprise kind of bit me, right? And I'm a little nervous. You know.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
That's one.
I got a good one.
Can I? Well, I just want to say.
I got a good question for you guys.
Go ahead.
Okay. What happened to the Maquis when Voyager made it home? Did they get in trouble or are they cool?
I would think they'd be cool, but we don't know.
I
think so too. But no, well, there is no answer. We don't know
because we don't know. That's
okay.
So with Voyager, Voyager, in my opinion, had the best ending of all of them.
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just, everybody here's seen it. If you ain't seen it by now, I don't care about spoilers, right? But it's like they come out, they're inside this, they get captured by the Borg and they're in this singing and it's like boom, and then all the Starfleet is right there. And they're like all welcome them. Then they go slowly back to Earth and it's all beautiful. I'm crying like a baby, a hungry, angry baby. It was wonderful. Deep Space Nine, not so much. It was like Cisco fights this guy and they both die and they just gone. They just gone. Where'd they go? I don't know where they went. They're just gone. And the whole last episode of just music panning. This is Quark. This is Odo. This is
now I can't listen to this part because I just finished. It's okay. It's okay. I just finished. I got to the end of season 6. And again, I missed a lot of this real time. So a lot of these episodes are new for me. And I'm like, Jadzia? What? No.
Right? Jadzia.
Yes.
I'm balling. What?
Yes. I'm like, no. Somebody check a quantum signature. Somebody check the transporter. This chick is somewhere.
She's somewhere.
Y'all better find my Jadzia.
That's right.
So I had to take a little bit of a break. I didn't launch right into 7. I've watched all of them back to back. I'm like, I need a break. And so then I went back to Discovery. I originally went to Picard and watched Picard, and then now I'm rewatching Discovery third time. Okay. And then it's season 2. At season 2, I'm actually rewatching. It's seasons episodes 9, 10, and 11 that you really get all the red signal, what's happening, and it's like you can't. That's not the show you watch when you're tired. Like, it's like, okay, what? Like, every line, every scene means something. And if you miss it, you're confused, which was me the first time I watched it. So, yeah. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it even more now. Like, I posted the other day, I've heard Star Trek referred to as competency porn. Like, you want to... Right, because they always find a way to fix it. Wow. They never throw their hands up and go, well, that's it.
That's interesting.
They go, no, we can find a way.
The original source of sapiosexuality.
While they come together and they hash out a plan and they listen to each other's ideas. And I'm like, why isn't that happening in my universe? That would be so awesome. But in that sense, I find it inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how it actually makes me problem solve better with way less science, but it makes me say, okay, maybe I can figure this out, So I know I'm a nerd. Oh, but it's okay to be that here.
This is a place to be.
Actually, that's what this place was built for. I don't know. I enjoyed all of it. I think all of it is great, wonderful. Oh, wait. Lamont says, well, I thought the Maquis were a non-issue after the reason they sided with the Maquis enemies joined the Dominion. So whenever the Cardassians joined the Dominion, that essentially made the Maquis heroes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because
but there's still a lot of, you would have to have some kind of pardon system in place because there are still criminal acts that would have to be answered to.
True.
And I'm not sure that the Federation is just going to go, don't worry, a shipload of people or two blown up. We're fine. Let's just all hug and be friends.
Yeah.
I I found myself particularly going through Deep Space Nine, where there are a lot of Maquis episodes. I didn't realize that, where I was annoyed with the Federation. I'm like, how do you not see their side?
That's right.
Like, I did not think they were wrong. I thought the Federation, I understood the logic, but I thought, in terms of ethics, they were on the wrong side, and the Maquis were on the right.
It was political BS, right? All the way.
Yes,
it was posturing to keep a peace and a borderline instead of defend the people the way you should have.
Right. I agree.
Absolutely.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And we know what happened. Move. We know what happened to the Maquis when the Dominion came in. They just slaughtered them all to the man. The only ones that got away. You guys, are you familiar with Les Mis? We talked about Les Miserables before. You don't like
seen it.
Yeah, she
I
doesn't
know
like
the story. I just don't. Yeah, and I've seen it. I have seen it.
So, I had not seen that, but I saw Star Trek, and I remember what was his name, Eddington, referring to Sisko as Javert, and referring to himself as Jean Valjean,
the other guy.
And so, my wife and I saw that. We saw, we saw Les Mis first before she saw. So whenever we saw DS9 and we got to that part, she was already familiar with all that and kind of cool. It was kind of one of the depths and wonders of that show. Just kind of love it.
Yeah, Sisko did kind of go around the bend on that one.
He did.
And
that's kind of a tough call.
I'm not sure if that was really true to character for him.
Yeah. Yeah, lighting up that other planet.
What was that?
When he lit up that other planet, made it uninhabitable for the humans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little like I always see him as never turning down a fight. If he can't find a diplomatic way out of it, he's gonna fight. I never saw him as I'm gonna take the fight to you. That type of captain. I didn't see that in him. But I don't know. Wormhole. That's desperate times.
Well, there was also the betrayal too. There was also the betrayal between Eddington betrayed not only Sisko, whenever Sisko literally gave him the control of the station and said, I'm trusting you with this station. And he screwed him and he screwed the uniform. Both of those things really gave him. That's the only kind of slide I mean, you even see Picard getting angry whenever he sees other captains doing shit that he doesn't kind of agree with or other, you're not a Starfleet officer. Starfleet officers don't do this kind of thing. But really, I think there was a lot of personal between him and Eddington.
Yeah. You know what? Thank you for reminding me of that. Because that level of betrayal, it's almost like he cheated on me. It's war. You betrayed me.
Yeah.
Now your emotions are involved. Yeah, you're right. That was a deep betrayal. Yeah.
And I think that a lot of that probably, and the way that his old friend, I can't remember his old friend's name, Sisko's old friend who was joining.
Oh, the other.
Yeah. I don't remember his name either. I think those things, and it's his Starfleet, because Sisko's flexible, but he also had this rigid Starfleet, what Starfleet was. And it was his rigidness in that wouldn't let him go beyond their side. Because I think, like you, they were right in fighting with the Cardassians. Cardassians were giving them weapons, but even behind Gul Dukat's back, they were giving him weapons.
Wow, what a psychopath he turned out to be.
Wow, you ain't seen the end of it yet. See, we don't want to spoil the rest of that. We don't want to do any season 7 spoilers. I started to do, but I'm going to tell you something, and you can tell me if you agree with this later on. Season 7 at points will have you shouting at the screen at Worf going, no, what the fuck are you doing? Do not do that. I am now mad at you. I'm just saying, I'm not going to Worf.
Follow the rules.
You just wait and see. You'll be with me. You'll sort of understand. You'll say, but you'll be like, no, bitch. No, this is not that. Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't want to spoil anything for you. You stop.
I'll go on. Fine.
And now we need to get through this Enterprise so I can go watch Discovery. I see, like you, Dick, there were things about Discovery that burned me about Enterprise. Then I started watching Discovery and I was like, ooh, man, I really enjoy some of the characters. They really, they speak to me. They're wonderful. But some things in the story are just so not what I know. And it took a little bit of a reset. So that's when we went back. And now I've come forward and people are telling me, like the Klingons, once again, ever since the original series, they look like us. The first movie, they look like they had these kind of things on their head. Ever since the Next Generation series, they had the things in the hair. And then they changed and they changed. I'm kind of getting used to that. I can deal with that. Somebody told me that in season 2, it answers all those questions, solves all my problems, and gets me back on track into my normal, what I expect. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it is a little annoying though.
Is it?
For me, I remember when the cast was announced, I was like, oh yeah, what's her name there? She's fucking awesome. This is going to be great. I can't wait to see it. And then I heard in the news by accident, because I didn't watch the show yet, that she only lasts the first episode. And I was like, darn. And I think that turned me negative for like a week right then and there, because Michelle Yeoh, I think her name is.
Yeah.
But
Michelle Yeoh.
I'm a huge fan. And I was like, darn, I wanted her to be on the damn show.
Yeah.
Dude, she is.
Good. Yeah. I saw that they brought her back.
Oh,
I've
really?
seen advertisements.
I won't spoil it for
Don't
you,
spoil it.
but people, it's Star Trek. You could be gone and not gone. I'll just
That's
leave it
right.
there.
Well, we've seen her
that
since,
helps a lot.
Because I've seen
That
the first
helps a lot.
season.
She's wonderful. If you like her acting,
Yes, very much.
she is. Yeah, you will not be sorry if all you did was tune in to watch her. You're still good.
Mm-hmm.
And I met her.
Good.
Did you?
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, I got invited. Oh gosh, this was last year. It was some Warner Brothers party. And I think they were promoting, I can't even remember what movie they were promoting. And I hadn't even seen it. I didn't care. But Michelle Yeoh was there. And the person who brought me was telling her all about me and that I was a huge Star Trek fan. He brings me over, introduces me, and she goes, "You're the real deal," because I was wearing my Star Trek necklace. And so we start chatting. She's very, very nice. She digs into her purse. She goes, "I think I only have," and she pulls out a Star Trek pin and gives it to me. And I was just walking on the moon after that. I was like, oh my God.
No.
It's so awesome when you meet someone, some notoriety, fame, whatever, that you like, and they actually turn out to be also a nice person. The luck is you meet them on a good day, because people have bad days. But she was thoroughly delightful and a fan. Like, she's doing the show and she's a fan of the show. It's like,
Cool.
win.
Cool.
Well, what I did appreciate,
I've had those.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I've had those moments with musicians, and they don't always work out. So it's cool when they do. Absolutely.
They don't. And I, you know what? I try to let those go, because unfortunately people are human.
You don't know
even
what
if
the
they're
person's
famous.
headspace is at the time. You don't know that that's
No.
really them. It's a 2-minute encounter, right? You got to
Right.
brush it off and just go, whatever. But sometimes you can tell that the core person's a jerk.
Right. That's a totally different thing. That's totally different thing. Yes. I'm terrible in person. Like, ugh.
That's what I'd take away from this.
As well, you should. Forewarned is forearmed, sir.
Atheist News said he met Brent Spiner at a convention, and he was super cool. Who do you think was that? Who was your least favorite encounter? I think, but you've probably met a lot of people in the music industry, Dick and Miss Leighann. You've probably met a lot of people in the theater and TV. So who has been your least? Who least impressed you, or had the worst impression upon you?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that, because I honestly, I really try to let that go. Not a lot of bandwidth here that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
So, right. No, because if I keep holding on to the negative stuff, I'm not going to have enough room for the good stuff.
That's a good way to see it.
I just throw that out there. But I'm sure my brain will find somebody. It's searching.
Well, real quick, best name ever. Wanted to mention earlier that Dick, you look a lot like Scott Bakula. Has anybody ever told you look like Scott Bakula?
No. No, I've never heard that one. I've heard a few. I've gotten a few. It depends if my hair's all down, and then I get different people, or if it's up, But I've never heard that one.
What? That's musician hair right there.
Oh yeah, I'm 6'1", and it can get caught in my belt.
I was at first confused. I thought it was Cyndi Lauper.
I
For
love
me-
Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah. That girl knows how to rock and roll.
The resemblance is
For
amazing.
me, it's easy. The singer from Blind Melon, I can't remember his name, but he was the biggest jerk I ever met in the entertainment industry by far.
Okay, gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah, by far. Our drummer actually just came so close to punching him out. We had to hold him back. The guy was that bad. Yeah, but he was also like, I don't think I know enough words for drugs to match them to what he was on. It was that bad,
Really?
right? The guy was almost incoherent, and he was half an hour before stage time. And we were all being very professional, like one beer to loosen up and go. And so we were making fun of him. Actually, it was pretty bad.
Wow.
But
the demons, man. Just
oh yeah,
and I'm not saying real world people don't have that, but maybe I'm biased. I think entertainment people are just a little bit more susceptible because it's such it's a wonderful space, but it's a trying space, and it's just navigating it.
To me, it comes down to this. To me, it comes down to this. Did you get into it for fame and fortune? If so, you're going to be a miserable SOB. Did you get into it for the love of the art and the creating? Then you're going to be fine. That's the difference, I do believe.
Oh man, I'm screwed. Wow.
And not in the good
I'm gonna have a drink.
You're gonna go have a drink and cry. I'll be in the fetal position over in the corner of a few.
Yeah, right. Well, that's me every Tuesday. So, what's another day?
Of the fecal position. Yes. That's right. Yeah. Here we go. So once again, here's another question. Best name ever wants to know which communicator or let's see. I think this is okay. All right. I think I understand now. Pardon me. Sometimes the chat gets me distracted. Which I think I'm all right, brother. I'm only reading half the question. Okay. Do you have Star Trek swag of some kind? Now we know Miss Leighann has got a necklace. Do you have like a communicator or anything like that from Star Trek? Dr. Daniel or David Kyle Johnson has one of those up like, down like from the Orville. If you're familiar with the Orville.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Love the Orville.
And I think
the
reason why she asks is she's got a really good collection and hers is better and makes us all feel bad about our own collection. I didn't even man up and wear my Star Trek shirt. Do you?
Yeah. My son has a TOS shirt, an original yellow shirt, and he's got a communicator pin, and we've got some of the nice metal models that stand on the little clear stands. So we've got them set up in a battle scene in his room and stuff. And we got some.
Well, you actually named your kid Avery after Avery Brooks, so you get points for that either way.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, well, it's his middle name. It's his middle name, but still, yeah.
Still, that counts.
Still points, yeah.
Middle names count.
Yeah. I think actually this is the first time it's ever been spoken, and that's why his name is Avery. I don't think anybody knows, not even his mother.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, well, she doesn't know where.
I have a friend, he named his daughter Ilea.
Oh.
Ilea from
the original Star Trek movie.
Yes.
The Delton.
The Vulcan. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go.
She was Delton, right? The bald lady?
I think so.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
The bald lady.
Oh, yeah. I was
yeah.
That was a hottie
and
for
her
me.
mother doesn't know either.
Really?
Her mom has no idea why he picked Ilea. Not a Star Trek fan.
I see.
Too funny.
Well,
I'm trying to think of my Star Trek swag. I actually have a commemorative plate, an Avery Brooks commemorative plate.
Really?
With signed and authenticated and blah blah blah. So yeah, I don't eat off it. I just look at it.
Right? I tell you, what I would give to meet and work with someone like him. He was one of my childhood heroes.
Yeah.
And I did tell you the story, right? About I didn't realize it was Hawk until one day I saw him sit forward and cover his mouth like that as he was thinking. And it just blew my mind that it was Hawk. And then I did theater and like doing theater. It would be just blow my mind to actually be able to do theater with somebody like him. Can you imagine?
Oh yeah, no, it would so step up your game.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just to work with someone of that stature.
No doubt.
And you mentioned that last week, and it made me think. And I found the name and then lost the name again. There was a Stephen King novel that they made into a series starring Anthony Michael Hall. Do you guys? And he was the kid from
Weird Science.
Weird Science. Okay, now here's the thing.
16 Candles, yeah.
Right, that guy. I didn't know that was who that was in this Stephen King series. It's the one where the guy the storyline is he has an accident, he falls into a coma, he comes out of the coma, and now he can see the future.
I haven't seen that.
Remember the name of the book. No, it's really good. So it's a Stephen King book. They made it into a movie with Christopher Walken.
Okay.
Then they made it into a series. And so I'm watching the series with the grown-up, Anthony Michael Hall. I'm in season 2 before I go, wow. And then I'm like, wow.
The Dead Zone.
Sir. Dead Zone. Thank you. The Dead Zone. I'm watching 2 seasons in, and I'm like, he grew up, but he filled out. I was like, hey, how you doing? Like,
really?
It's so interesting to see when your kid or teenager folks then become adults. And it takes you a minute sometimes. You don't recognize them. Like Molly Ringwald when she was on SVU. And I'm like, that's my Molly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Atheist News
What's
points
SVU?
out that
I missed that.
Special
I'm
Victims
sorry.
Unit.
That's Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to be a crime show junkie. I'm not now, but yeah.
You sought help? Got counseling?
I got tired of I just got tired of it being crime all the time. Does every show have to be there's crime and there's detectives and there's a SWAT team, and I'm like, none of these people are going to help me when I go missing.
Yeah, it's too late.
They're gonna file some paperwork. They go, well, that's sad, and then they're gonna go on a donut run. Come on,
right? I really enjoyed things like that, and I like crime mystery movies or shows. I enjoyed Sherlock. And then I watched Elementary, and I got through a few seasons of Elementary. I kind of enjoyed having a female in one of the lead roles. I thought that was cool. I enjoyed the actor who played Sherlock. I enjoyed his quirks, but it just got to where the opening of the show would open up, and I'd be like, oh, this guy did it. This is why.
Isn't it Cumberbatch?
No, that
Cumberbatch that did Sherlock.
He does Sherlock. There's a Sherlock produced by the English over there in England. Then there's a Sherlock where Sherlock lives in New York City. It's a TV series.
Of course he does.
Oh,
yeah, it's called Elementary.
Oh, I thought you meant the British Sherlock.
No, I love the British Sherlock.
Oh
my goodness, it's like, oh, he's wonderful. And like I'm saying, in this Sherlock called Elementary, there's nothing wrong with the actors or the sets or the scenes. It's just the stories are not. Whoever wrote them, in my opinion, they ain't bad. At first couple of seasons, they got you. But then by the 3rd or 4th season, you're like, this is the same fucking formula over and over. You're like, oh my God. Okay. So.
Well, that's Law and Order.
Well, yeah. So
you actually watch it for the comfort. You know when you're going to get your first dunk. when when they introduce the star, the guest star. Okay, he did it or she did it.
Right.
We're gonna get to the court. The first filing by 20 minutes. So it's almost like.
Yeah.
You can tune in at any point, and you know where you are. You know what they're gonna say. What argument they're gonna have.
And that goes all the way back to like the streets of San Francisco and whatnot. I mean, you can take that back so far, Carl Malden and Michael Douglas. That was a great old show. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, no,
I'm dating myself now.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one at all. Sorry.
I'm familiar, but did not see it. But yeah. But there's a formula, you guys.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, there is, but you just kind of, especially because I was used to watching Sherlock, and so I needed more Sherlock. And hey, they got this TV series over here, and at first it kind of filled the hole in my soul where there was no Sherlock that needed to be Sherlock. But then after a little while, like you, I saw that there's this very formulaic, kind of semi-boring pattern. Okay, now he's going to flip out and he's going to fuck with his locks for a little while. Okay.
I guess it's what formula do you like right now that fits you? Like Big Bang Theory. I know, sci-fi folks or who hate that show. They absolutely hate it. But I come to it and I don't ask a lot of questions. I don't ask why a waitress is able to have an apartment by herself and two guys who have PhDs can't make the rent. Like, what? I don't ask these questions.
Right. That'd be surprisingly accurate, I'm sure. Taddy Boggle has showed up in the chat. I thought we had moderators.
Teddy baby.
No, this is all unsupervised.
I see. Well, so Taddy wanted to say hey to Dick Dawson. He thought we had a classy stream until he saw you on here. I know. We're up in our game.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, he wouldn't be Taddy if he wasn't giving me some shtick, I tell you.
That's right. Well, I go over to your Shills. For those who don't know, I do have, I should have links to Miss Leighann's YouTube channel, her Facebook page. I should also have links to Dick's YouTube. I got links down below. So you should be able to find these people. Don't forget to go subscribe. Leighann is hilarious. And if you don't mind, Leighann, I am going to ask you, I'm going to pause our little sci-fi show talk or just show talk to ask you about your upcoming show because you have a show tonight. I don't have a link to that, but I'm going to, if you don't mind, I will help shill you after the show.
No, I greatly appreciate that. Ever since the shutdown, stay at home, my first reaction was to do something called the Working from Home Comedy Club. And I would just shoot me here, put up a different backdrop and shoot me and do, current events jokes. But other comics have gotten up to speed and they're doing comedy shows on Zoom. And so I got booked like I would before the pandemic to do a show called Comedy Oakland. And that's the website. If you go to comedyoakland.com, it's comedy club real comedy club, but they're doing their show online through Zoom. Seating is limited. Only the first 100 folks get in. And that if you're East Coast, that's 10 p.m. East Coast time tonight. If you're West Coast, that's 7 p.m. tonight. And it will be me, some local San Francisco comics who I don't know, but San Francisco grows very, very good comedians as a rule. And the absolutely wonderful Lori Kilmartin. It must be. Lori Kilmartin is also on the show. She is an Emmy-nominated writer. She's written comedy for many TV shows. She's a late-night TV show writer and a wonderful comic and a friend. So I'm really looking forward to the show tonight. It's about an hour because, how much comedy can you do to a screen?
right, exactly.
It's so weird. People ask me about that all the time. And like, what does it feel like to not have audience feedback? And I'm like, it's like when I started and was doing open mics. Yeah. No audience feedback.
You said that.
Yeah, so it's kind of nostalgic.
Yeah, I imagine.
Interesting.
Real quick, we're all finding our way.
Somebody noticed your changes in the chat and made a comment. I think it was Kristen had noticed that you've changed your background, you've changed your lighting. You remember those things you talked about before the show? They noticed and they pointed it out. You've done a great job. It looks wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you. Dick? Yeah, I actually ordered a little riser here and turned on some lights and
Dick, you look like shit, but she looks wonderful.
I know. I never usually go on camera, so I'm looking at it right now thinking, holy God, my lighting's awful. This is bad. As we started, I was opening the blinds here to my one window to try to even the lighting out, and it only just washed the color away. Yeah. And, so now I look like, 3 days on the pipe, and I just woke up or something, but whatever.
We were going to send a wellness check after the show.
That's funny.
So good morning.
I have to fix that though, because we're on the iNetwork coming up soon. I have a talk show where I'm going to do like a David Letterman type show with some people and whatnot. And we've got a full 3D set done up where I'll be sitting like virtual at a desk, and so will the guest and everything. Wow. It's all, and I just can't have this. It's going to have to be better. Right. So I'm really have to up my game here really soon.
Well, we're entering a new world.
To whoever that was that noticed, thank you. I'm trying every little bit. My cat executive produces in the background. So,
no, you're doing great, and that's one of the things that, I tell you, I've been visiting with a friend of mine, who's because I'm funny, son of a bitch.
I heard that about you.
Because I said so. Right? Just ask me, I'll tell you. Anyway, I've been talking to a friend about doing a kind of similar stream, and I was going to get your advice. So after the show, I was going to pluck your brain and get some advice on stuff of a similar nature.
Me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, because you're a comedian type person.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
Yeah, but because you're going to do the live show, and I'm looking forward to that. And after watching that last live show with you. Now, we can still go back and watch that. I don't remember. Did she just broadcast that on Facebook or did she do it on YouTube or what was up with that? Do you remember?
Which thing are we talking about? Because I did my anniversary show. It wasn't even a show. It was just a live stream to celebrate my comedy anniversary. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's available on YouTube. You can see that. I did record that. You download and upload from Facebook to YouTube. It's different though, because when you do a live stream and people are commenting, you know, that's in the moment. And then, you know, watching the video of that, I don't know if people engage with it as much as they would if they were there live. I have no idea. But I put it out there. I put it out there for people to see and appreciate and enjoy, which is a little different than when I film myself here and there's really nobody and then just edit stuff together. I don't know. I don't know which one I like better. I think I like that better.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, it's a whole new world you've got going on as a comedian, especially embracing. I mean, how are you gonna do the thing that you got to do? I mean, you've already got the tech put up and you're meeting people. Well, actually, specifically, what I was talking about was you did a comedy thing a few nights ago. Maybe a week ago, and this lady came up and she had a comedy background.
Oh, that
her
one,
husband ran.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was hard-headed comedy. That was also something like this, but it was a different platform that she was using, and it was live, and it was the closest thing I have done so far to a show. You know, right. Where, you know, you have an MC and then they introduce the next person and then you pop up on the screen and you do your thing. And then when you're done, that MC comes back and, you know, She had a whole background and a stand and a microphone and, you know, they had laughter plugged in, you know, it was kind of like All in the Family
yeah.
or MASH.
It's a new world, right? Yeah.
It's a new, listen,
that wouldn't be hard. That would be easy to produce up, actually. That's not hard to do.
That's what I'm talking about. The way I produce the morning show with all this stuff, I've been thinking about doing a similar show for like once a week, because I tell you, this morning show, everyday crap is for the birds. I'm just saying, if you're thinking about it. But like
I don't know why you're doing it, but okay.
Cray, right? Cray. That's all.
Yeah,
Cray
that's
right
a lot. You know, it's like when I go on Instagram and I see people, every time I go on Instagram, the same people are live all the time. I'm like, are you live in your own life? Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Like,
do they have time for masturbation at that point? I mean, seriously, you got to take care of yourself.
Maybe that's what they're going live doing. I don't know.
I raised one hand.
I'm really from the school of let people miss you. Like, you know, if you see me every day, come on.
Right. So yeah, that has been my notion to apply my OBS stuff, because he does OBS stuff too. And to create a completely separate channel that's not specifically atheist related, that's comedy related, produce a show once a week. I've got my friend, I've got myself, I've got my buddy Mike. I might know other people in the comedy community who might not have much to do right now. And of course, I'm a funny son of a bitch. Did I already say that?
Well,
I used to do the amateur competitions. I won in Vancouver years back. I used to love doing this kind of stand-up stuff, but I had to pick between musician life and comedy. Right. And I started playing guitar at the age of 10, and I was playing. Sound.
I've got these other things, and I recently redid a thing at the place with the stuff because I was working on the OBS and I had default sounds, and I built everything and I changed the default sounds and removed them, and I put in right sounds. That way, whenever I do the thing, it makes it right. But there was some scenes I didn't do that to because I was lazy, and that's what happened. So y'all should be able to hear me now. Sorry, I was trying to show off my OBS stuff. I'd make, whenever you were talking, I'd make you big on the screen, but I forgot to add sound to that.
Okay.
Do you use a desktop audio? Oh, no. Go ahead. Sorry. Okay, good. Because as soon as I see somebody using desktop audio capture, I'm always like, no. But good. Okay. Anyway, enough tech talk.
Would you say, Miss Leighann? Well, she may want to know because she's doing a lot of this on her own. She may be doing her own streaming.
I'm it. When I say that my cat is my executive producer, I mean in the traditional executive producer way. He does nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
he just wants credit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you watch any of my videos, I have scripted videos. I try to drop them once a week, but I'm lazy after doing all the streaming. But at the end of mine, it's got some credits, camera, sound, graphics. Those names are all my dogs. They're just my dogs.
I know most people put their Patreons up like that, right? But
well,
that's funny. It
pops Patreons first. It says, "Here's my patrons. Muchos gracias to you guys," and then it goes to "Here's the crew," and it's my El Pedos.
Well, it's funny. I've started getting more patrons on my People with Parents podcast, and it's like, oh my word! Now I actually have to follow through with what I promised them.
That's what we're in right now on our channel on the iNetwork.
Goodness.
We're struggling with figuring that out because we're a group of like 11, 12 people, and just trying to come to a consensus or trying to pick a day to do things is right on impossible. It's killing us.
Yeah. I sympathize because it's me and my multiple personalities, and trying to get all these chicks together at a meeting is just.
Yeah, it's like herding cats. I can see that.
Totally. But yeah, I didn't promise too much, but it's just I'm actually kind of thrilled, that people want to support. Like, yay.
Well, I've been watching your stuff.
Really, really good.
And I've been wondering how you do your stuff.
And then I get really, really scared.
Yeah.
You get really scared.
Like, oh no, people have expectations now.
Yeah.
Chris, you asked me something. I missed it.
Well, as a nerd, as a person who does all this tech and develops my own show and runs all this crap, I watch you do your stuff, and now I find out you have no producer. There's nobody that produces any of your crap. So I'm like, how does she do? Because go watch her videos, or at least what I've seen lately. Whenever you do your stuff, and it looks pretty good. Of course, I see the effort you put in just between when I saw you before and now. It's just wonderful.
I learn a little bit, all the time, but that's who I've always been. It's like, how do you do a blog? And so you start doing a blog by doing a blog. Good. And then figuring out, okay, how does this platform work? Because I already had the writing skill. Now, how do I match that to the tech? And you do that a little better all the time. And then I took that original blog. I said, well, how do I do this as a podcast? And I taught myself how to podcast. Now these are really rudimentary skills back in the day. And then so now doing video, which I told you last week, I actually hate doing, but I think I hated it because I didn't have enough information. Right. I wasn't sure, how do I make this look good? Right. And so I'm learning a little bit, like YouTube is so wonderful.
It is, isn't it?
Awesome. It's like, how do I do? And almost before I can finish typing, it fills it in because it knows what I don't know, because that's how the algorithm works.
Yeah, that's right.
And there are like a billion videos that show you how to do that little minuscule thing when you're editing an iMovie. Like, how do you
wrong, but
yeah, that too. So you watch the wrong ones, you try that, you go, oh no, that doesn't work. So you go to the third video down. Right. And I'm now I actually have the time to do that.
Yeah. So I was wondering, so you do your editing in iMovie and you just straight upload to Facebook and YouTube. Cool.
Yeah.
Now you do Facebook as well. You upload your video to Facebook.
Yeah. I mean, I've had to learn again, because I also, I don't want to say I taught myself social media, just living through it, you sort of learn. And I have taken workshops and classes and things like that. At the moment, well, this information is slightly dated now. I think Facebook favors videos that are directly uploaded. as opposed to if you put in a YouTube link.
Yeah.
You know, so it does have to be separate things. And I'm mad because I want to put in the YouTube link so people on Facebook go to my YouTube, but Facebook knows that. And they're like, no.
Right. Well, you could use multi-stream. You could use multi-stream, right? Where you stream to both at the same time. Or if you switch from OBS to XSplit Broadcaster, which is like $7.99 a month, it's a really good deal. It will multi-stream to multiple accounts on its own, so you don't have to pay multi-stream.
Okay, we're talking about uploading static videos, not stream videos.
Oh, static.
Yeah. But when it does come to streaming videos, she can do that as well. I use OBS and I go to Mob Crush, and right now we're streaming to Facebook, as Miss Lady suggested, YouTube, and Twitch. So, and it doesn't cost me nothing.
I'm so not there yet. Like, I heard what you said, and it translated as blah, 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 blah. What?
We got you.
You're ahead of me.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could be of help if needed in the future.
Yeah, no, and you know what? I'll get there. I'm probably like 3 weeks away from there, you know.
Well, you know, do you want to do, here's the deal. Right now, you've got kind of an awesome little setup. And Dick Dawson probably knows more. Forgive me, Dick. You might know more than I do. I'm just talking about what I know. Because he teaches people. I'm just some guy who did my own thing. Anyway, you've got this thing, and right now you're doing this thing. And Miss Leighann, you might continue to be on other people's shows and do fine. And create your own content, be on other people's shows and do fine. But if you decide to do your own live streaming, this stuff will be interesting. You know, and we'll help. Right. You got people who will help you.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I see a lot of other comics doing it, and there's still the very first question is, should I be doing that? Not everybody should be live streaming.
That's true. That's true.
Like, what do you have to say? What kind of content do you have? What kind of fan base do you have? What are you trying to accomplish? And exactly. I like that I can do this, and then I have my already existing catalog of content that I can upload and you know, strategic and give people.
And you can still go be on people's other people's shows like you've been doing. That's just fantastic. Which
I enjoy. It's slightly less work.
Yeah.
Because I respect how much effort this takes. No, I really do. To do a daily show or to go live every day, and it's like that's work.
That's work.
I admire it.
I know I'm breaking out though. I could, you know, I'm trying to work. My deal is to figure out how I can continue the show, take a break, not burn out, you know. And then, of course, at the same time, I'm like, well, you know, I could do this other show.
Oh, welcome to my world, man.
Right. Yeah. This guy here, Dick does several shows. He produces him and Bulliator. They make these other shows. They produce them just like what we're doing, make them run. And it's a lot more work than people give credit for often. So,
I totally give it credit, which is why I'm not doing it. It's like even pre-pandemic, you know, there's so many ways to exist in the comedy world, you know. Of course, as a stand-up comic, but you had comics who would go, hey, I want to be on a show, there's nobody putting me on a show, so I'm going to produce, and they start producing their own shows. And then they realize how hard that is, because in the role of the producer, now it's your job to get asses in the seats and to book the comics, and somebody canceled, it's your job to refill that. So you're wearing more hats.
But hold on, you're talking about a producer in the real world now. A YouTube producer is a broadcast engineer who makes sure the show goes out. They don't do any of the other tasks. Let's make this clear. Everybody in the world of YouTube uses the word wrong.
Okay, clear, man. I was just say that again. Explain to me. Using English. A producer in the real world is not sitting behind the console making sure that Letterman's show has the right camera cuts. They're the ones booking the guests and making sure there is a show to be made. Okay. And in YouTube, we use the word producer incorrectly massively. That's right. I'm not, because I produced the show. I think no, you're right. I would be, what'd you call us? Because that's wonderful. I like it. It's big words.
This would be a broadcast engineer's job, really. The guy who's engineer. Like, you know.
That sounds so much better than producer. Broadcast.
It does.
Engineer.
Yeah. You know? Like Amy Hogan with the iNetwork. Amy Hogan with the Shills and the iNetwork. She does most of the booking for the group. So I call her the showrunner, the person who's putting it together. Like they use the modern term for, like, you know, the Arrow show or whatever, because I think it's more accurate, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, this goes to a very basic concept. Are we understanding our terms?
That's
What
right.
does that
And we're
term
not.
mean to you?
The answer to that is
because we're
no.
also right, because we're also crossing industries now.
That's right.
This came up last week, when I said I have a podcast, and Chris was like, yeah, but it's only audio. And I'm like, yeah, that's what a podcast was.
Because
it wasn't this.
That's
and I don't know
right.
what the word is for this. Live streaming. Yeah, of course, I would not call this a podcast. Podcasts are audio, and from the olden days.
I think the correct term would be vlogcast.
Well, yeah,
because it's a video blogcast.
Okay.
Yeah, if you wanted to do that, yeah, and that's why, it's, yeah.
And then it's, are you the only one using that term? What does everybody else colloquially understand that to mean?
That's right.
Go check out my videos on my YouTube channel. And now that's kind of how or you could call it a video blog, I guess, if you wanted to.
That's how we got to vlog. And that feels like such an old term.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if we call vloggers vloggers anymore.
And see, sometimes
that feels so early 2000s.
So I've been invited
on in older movies now.
Yeah, I've been invited onto podcast, and I'm like, okay, I'll be on your podcast, and they live stream me through Skype and record it. And they put, whenever they release it, it's on YouTube as a video, just like any of my videos, but it's a podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
You're absolutely right. We are using the terms incorrectly. Broadcast engineer, showrunner. See, that's what I need to find. I need to find a streamlined way of getting guests. That's the hardest part about this show, is getting people to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's
why you need a showrunner. You can't do it all. That's why we share the tasks, right?
Yeah.
Which is really hard when it's only you. Like with one of my early working from home comedy clubs, I have the credit listing in the back, and it's like, producer, that's me. Writer, that's me. Set design, that's me. Wardrobe, that's me. Makeup, that's me. And like, it's all me.
Fluffer, that's me. Yeah, it's all there.
Yeah, sure. Can I hire that out? Can I get someone in for that? Yeah. Should I just order pizza and then go, hey, while you're here?
As a content creator, I've thought, there are things that me and other content creators have in common that if we could hire or find a person to do those certain things, like, for example, a person to do the scheduling of the show. Well, my scheduling isn't enough but if we had that same person did my scheduling, Dick's scheduling, Neil, the 604 atheist scheduling, MathPeak scheduling, they're all atheists. All the guests are kind of the same. You'd already have the guests from this show, and you could cycle them through different shows. As one person can organize all that to where all of us as content creators are pausing the creation of what we're trying to do to stop and run over here and do this. And
that's one of the reasons why we started the iNetwork channel, because we all came together. We can put our shows on the same channel, and one person can do this job, one person can do this job, one person can do this job. That's exactly what we've done.
Isn't that cute that you mentioned that? That's so cute. And here from my perspective, I started this channel a year ago. 5 months ago, I started the morning show, and what I'm doing is trying to grow my shit big enough so I can join the damn channel you're talking about. I've been trying to get up and become legitimate enough so I could become a part of the Shills. I have no idea, because I knew that was part of it, was to get a part of a network and do things. I'm like, here I am. Look at me. Oh, by the way, I'll be on the Shills on the 24th. I wrangled him in. He couldn't get out of it.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah, we're getting on the mission here, everybody. We're getting this done.
Yes. So, wonderful. But the Shills isn't exactly atheism stuff mostly. You guys are about anti-woo primarily. Is that correct?
We go at anybody who's using pseudoscience to preach knowledge to people. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you're talking about being a breatharian, if you're one of these bleach drinking SOBs, if anybody that's talking nonsense is fair game to us, and we're coming at you. That's what we do. But that's just the Shills show. On the iNetwork, we also have Steamy Cup of Reason, who's in the chat right now. Him and Thor, Logic of the Gods, are doing their series Pain of Progress, and they're talking about the benefits that came from war, like Velcro and all these technologies that we've got and stuff. And then we've got a talk show coming up, and then we've got the autism show coming up, where we're going to be going into the world of living with autism as a parent, as somebody who has it and stuff. And that's what we're doing, is exactly that, right? We're just expanding it, bringing it around, doing everything.
Okay. So I need to,
and it makes it fun.
Continue working my way up. So I can, well, actually, I think I've been, never mind. That's a long construct. I will be part of the Shills in one fashion or another going forward. We'll figure that out.
I actually find that very heartening. As you guys probably, well, and Chris, I know you know, my first episode dropped last week because I'm one of the new co-hosts of Point of Inquiry. And my first guest, the first guest that aired was the gentleman, Kurt Anderson, who wrote Fantasyland. And our whole conversation was, about the history of Fantasyland thinking, this imaginary thinking, this magical thinking here in America, how a lot of it's uniquely American, and how it has affected this nation's response to, or lack of response to, the pandemic, and how people just fight science. They just... you give them some logic and some facts, and then they reach for the woo.
Yeah.
Like, no, the woo feels better. And I'm like, that should be the first thing that tips you off.
Yeah.
A good indicator.
Like, here, take this free bag of money. And you go, okay, instead of going, where'd you get that bag of money, sir?
Yeah. Right?
That's right. My son came home. I was just gonna say, my son came home one day and a neighbor had given him a bicycle, a dirt bicycle. I'm like, where'd that neighbor kid get that bicycle? Did you even bother to ask the question? This is one of those bicycle moments you're talking about.
Yes.
Yep,
yes. Yep. There is no such thing as a free lunch.
There's no free lunch.
Like when we're done, I'm about to make myself a sandwich and then put $1 in the tip jar in my kitchen because that sandwich is not free.
Pay it where it's due. Dick, look at that. Are we doing some kind of drinking night? You gonna get me drunk, Dick? Take advantage of me on the Shill show?
Oh yeah, well it's kind of a standing rule that you should show up with alcohol already in your system and ready to consume more, because some of the stuff we cover, it's the number one rule is get your oven mitts on and push your monitor out of punching range because it's coming.
We've seen a few of them. It's again, like I say, normally we don't see your face. We see your little cartoon. I have a really cool cartoon.
Yeah.
So it'd be awesome.
Yeah. And I sent you one.
Stevie Cup of Reason in the chat. That's Steve Cup of Reason. Jeff in the chat is our artist in the team, and he does all our avatars and stuff. Some of the set designs and whatnot. He's unbelievable talent. It's scary how good he is.
That's
I having a team sounds really nice.
Amazing.
Or being part of a team.
Yeah, we have a private Discord server where we all hang out during the day and just chit chat and stuff. And and we do our planning in there and stuff. And it's totally a family. Like, we hang out all day together. Right. It's really cool.
I don't even understand that. You know what it is? Part of it for me, I think, is a byproduct of being stand-up comic. It is a solitary form, you know, and so you're usually traveling by yourself. You're on stage by yourself. I mean, even if there are other comics on the show, your portion of the show is all you. And that's a certain mindset.
You're right too, because I come from the band there. I come from bands, so I'm used to having a group, and that's why I got together and helped build one. Right.
I'm used to being, again, my writer, director, performer, manager, agent. I'm used to being everything, and help makes me nervous. Like, why you want to help me?
Well, there's this recurring thing. Here, it's just all the rising tide lifts all boats. You hear it all the time in the atheist community that I'm a part of. There's a fractured atheist community, and the part I'm a part of that I see is they're all about that, helping each other. If I help you, helping you will help me. It's just you will help other people within the community.
I'm not saying that comics don't help each other. There is definitely a community, particularly, I don't want to say particularly. Every city has a comedy community. But there's still that solitary nature of it. Now, some comics, get by that by making sure that they, go out to clubs together, or they have a writing group together. And I'm so sorry, but that was never me. Like, I was that kid in school that hated group work. I was like, because I felt like I was saddled with the kids who weren't going to pull their weight and do their fair share. So I would get around that and go, screw it, I'm doing it all. Everybody wanted to be in a group with me because I was going to do all the work. I'm like, you're not going to drag my A+ down with your D- attitude.
Well, yeah,
that was me in computer class.
Oh.
Hey, Dick, you know, they said Scott Bakula earlier, but I'm thinking no, brother. I'm thinking more maybe like Monster from the Muppets. Yeah? Yeah? Am I right? Am I right or am I right? Or am I right?
No,
Or am I right?
No, you're wrong.
Just do this for me, brother. Yeah, like Monster does. He's like, the resemblance is amazing. I say that with love and affection.
Oh, I know.
Air hug.
When I was young, I used to get Animal from the Muppets lots. Right?
That's what I meant. I'm sorry, Animal. I'm sorry, Animal. That's what exactly what I meant. My apologies. I said Monster. I meant Animal.
Yes. I love the Animal. Well, who did it?
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, that's
it reminds me of Phenomena.
Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking of.
Oh man. My mom told me a story. My dad came home. I was about I don't know. And I'm in my high chair. And you know, I'm having daddy time, and my dad was completely confused because I'm just going mana. And he's like, "What's wrong with the baby? Like, what? Why can't she say real words?" Right? And my mom was like, because of course he didn't know Sesame Street, he didn't know mana. He didn't know that he was falling down on the job, that he didn't know his part.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. And Rubber Man Band. Are you guys, any of y'all old enough to remember the Rubber Man Band? I vaguely remember.
Hey, y'all, prepare yourself for
the Rubber Man Band. Yeah. It was on TV. They had the Rubber Band. I'm dating myself now. That's bad, Chris.
Okay, I you know what? I so want to kill that phrase. I'm dating myself because I say it too. I want to say I am showing the depth of my knowledge in seasoning.
Oh wow!
Ooh, I like that a lot better.
Stealing that one too.
How about that?
I'm stealing.
I'm just saying it because we live in a very ageist culture, and I'm tired of it now that I'm older.
I like being older.
That's a bunch of bullshit. Is what that is. Yeah.
I like being older. I think I'm aging well. I like it actually.
That's what they told you.
Because you're a man.
Because you're a man.
Well, I mean, I'm 50. I got a full head of hair. I'm only just barely starting to gray. I mean, I'll take that. No problem.
I'm not 50. I'm trying to hold on to what tiny amount of hair I've got. And gray hit me a long time ago, brother.
Yeah, not me. But I didn't do parenthood until 36. She's just going to stare at us in angry woman face.
I have no comment.
Yeah, but that whole thing where men age better or whatever, you know, that 70s thinking is absolute crap. Because tell me that Helen Mirren isn't all that in a bucket of chicken.
Tell you.
Come on.
You know what? I would take her as my president.
Me too.
There you go.
Hell yeah. My wife is a little bit older than me. It's a secret. But she looks younger.
I tweeted that.
She ain't right. But she looks younger than I do. I mean, her hair, she might have maybe a gray or two. I didn't say that. Nobody saw me say it. I didn't, but maybe. And look at this shit. Nothing. Pull my fingernails off. I'll deny it all. But look at me. I'm all gray. So yeah, she looks like she's older than me. And yet I'm, I get the glares for dating a younger woman.
Okay, all of this here is effort.
Okay, effort, right. Production value.
If I didn't put in this level of work, I would look like Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Well, then A for effort, honey. Well done.
Thank you. That's why I put it in.
It's lighting. It's lighting. I told you, girl, get that camera up. That works every time.
What? It's shapewear. It's like, okay, 5, 6, 7, and work.
The best folks are gray. That's right. Call me what is it? The damn it. Something. It was, oh man, I lost it.
See,
I know.
Hey, is that a cello in the back? Or
yes, a cello. It's a real cello.
Kick ass.
Yeah. I taught myself to play the
nice.
cello. So I'm actually almost 5 years. Yeah. 5 years. 5 years of self-taught cello. Wow. So it's really bad. But I enjoy it. Yeah, so I did the cello, the piano, stuff like that.
Yeah, I do piano. I got one right behind me.
only-
You can just see the stand there. Oh, wrong side. There's the telescope. You can just see the music stand sticking up with the letter on it there. I got a piano right behind me.
I have very limited musical ability. All I did was play drums in high school. I was in the marching band.
Gotcha.
And I still never learned how to read music. I had to, I mean, I know what the names are, flam, paradiddle, all that. But I had to learn by sound. You know, that's how I would learn the songs. You know, I would read the music and be just lost. Yeah. So
I can see
I
you
learned
beating the
timpani
drums.
drums.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, they were cool because you have to tune it with your foot as you go, and you have to get it just right on the spot. That was kind of cool. But
yeah,
you know, I was a little rock and roll, but it was better than, you know, blowing my own horn, so to speak. Just kidding.
You know, my poor wife. I started the cello like a week. I went down and rented the cello. I think the week after I met my wife. The day I'm talking, that's how close it was. So, I mean, she's been.
She really loves you.
Yes, she's actually encouraged me on numerous occasions if I would consider possibly taking up the triangle. But I have not. Yeah, I thought about it.
Would you mind being a wind chime for me? Could you be the wind chime?
Yeah. One more fucking screech on that A string, and I'm gonna gut you like a fish. I mean, she didn't. That's not word for word.
Yeah, but the subtext, it was definitely in the subtext.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's buying me rosin, like rosin that bow, bitch, or I am gonna hurt you. So I rosined it, but no. Yeah, it's a real cello. I don't play it nearly enough. I had carpal tunnel surgery the last part of last year, hopefully to make playing cello easier, because it really got to hurting after a few minutes. And in the month or two that I stopped out of doing that, I started building the channel. I started growing in November and started hitting it hard. I hit 80 subscribers in November, on November 1st. And now I've got 888 as of this morning. So I've been working it like a slave, and I just haven't, I've lost my cello. I haven't got to sit down and play cello. I used to play every morning. I used to sit down every morning and play cello for an hour or so, and I also did Spanish for an hour every day. And then I've dropped them both to build this. I sacrifice for you people.
Yeah, no, I don't do any of that. I'm drinking for an hour every day.
Amen.
Build my tolerance.
Build up your tolerance. Yeah, have a bunch of cigarettes going in the room, getting ready for the next comedy club when shit opens back up.
Man, I'm from when when smoking was a thing. You know, and comedy clubs. And I just remember those first few shows and there was no smoke. I was delightful. I was delighted because I would go home and smell like it. Like I had very old videos where you could see the smoke rising and coming up on stage. And it's like, ugh. Yeah, it was awful. And back then I used to burn incense. I wasn't, because I'm not a smoker. So I would bring my own smoke. I'm like, if you can have cigarettes, I can have incense. And I would have this little incense cloud around me. I was such a weirdo. I shouldn't say past tense.
I was fixing to say, here are using the past tense there? That's crazy. She needs to rewatch this. It's Sci-Fi Saturday. Have you heard yourself today?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Back in the day, because I always had a cigarette in the head of the guitar in the tuning pegs. I always had one burning when I was live. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The club owners would get mad. It's going to burn the stage. I'd look down and there's spilled beer and shit all over it. I'm like, really? Really? Come on. An improvement. It's a piece of crap already. You know?
True. Goodness gracious. Kristen wants to say that you're her spirit animal, Miss Leighann. And you know, all these things, what? I guess. Yeah. Kristen's spirit animal.
Oh, spirit animal. That brings us back to Voyager then.
There you go. You know, I didn't. Right? Hey, Dave is here. Dave has the Dave Worley podcast. If you want to go be a video audio guest on his podcast.
What's his
is that what he does?
That's what he does. Dave Worley. You know Dave Worley from Dave Worley's podcast? Remember we were talking about that? I'm just saying. Get him, guys.
But yeah, Dave, we should hook up then. I went to audio engineering school, toured in bands. I know OBS and vMix and XSplit and whatnot. Sounds like we should have a chat, buddy. Awesome.
I know how to flip a switch.
She flips switches.
Off.
On, off. Hey, she can edit an iMovie.
That is a labor of love right there. That is years of learning right there. Because editing iMovie on your phone is different than iMovie on your computer. And iMovie they'll upload, they'll do a new version for no reason. and move stuff around. Like, okay, the button for this used to be here, now it's here. And
That's right.
I'm having a moment.
Welcome to Apple.
I've been a Windows guy for forever, since like Windows 3.3 or whatever. I don't know. It's been forever. And the longer Windows goes on, the longer they go on, the more things they remove, the more controls. You used to be able to click File and then Settings and drop down. Well, the settings is now gone. You got to go down here and pray and kind of hook to the left and push this little button over here and wiggle your foot, and you can find the settings button. And then it goes into the settings. There's fewer settings in there than there used to. And it's they really dumbed a lot of shit down. Then they went to, what was it, Windows 8? Where it's like the Metro interface and all that crazy crap.
That was horrific.
It was. I'd rather be drugged through a mesquite bush than use Windows 8. But anyway, you're a Mac girl.
I was still a Mac user during that.
Oh,
yeah, it was unfortunate.
I left Mac 2 years ago. I can't use an Apple anymore. As a tech support guy, you go and buy, if you go and buy right now the new 16-inch MacBook Pro, you're getting a modern system. But 2 years ago, buying the 15-inch MacBook Pro, you might have ended up with a processor in it that was 3.5 years old already. I mean, they're so poor at updating their hardware. It makes me sick. And they're very expensive computers. A MacBook Air for $1,000. You couldn't get me to buy that to save my life right now. But 4 years ago, the MacBook Air was a great deal. So I could go on and on and on, and I'm not gonna, but it's one of those things. I just got so sick of it. But I'm about to switch to Linux finally, because everything I need to be online on YouTube is pretty much ready on Linux now. And I can finally get rid of this Gates infested nonsense that I'm using right now. I hate it.
Wow. How do you really feel?
I was fixing to say the same thing. Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
You got to let it out.
I hear that a lot.
I went from Windows to Mac, and I have this sexy little MacBook Air, but it's from 2014, so it was probably.
You got a good one then. You got your money's worth.
This is a good one. Okay.
Well, and I did a lot of research. In its day, you got your money's worth. If you bought a MacBook Air now and somebody else with a $1,000 Windows computer sat beside you and you rendered the same video, you'd be crying how much faster they are.
Really? Well, that's how I feel about my iPhone up against an Android. I feel like Android people they're just,
iPhone's way more powerful.
I just went to iPhone from an Android.
Yeah, the A series chips kick the crap out of anything else in the ARM world. They're going to be in the Macs laptops in another 2 years. They'll have their own ARM chips in there for sure.
Smoking phone, man. I tell you, I've never had a phone.
Wait, Chris, what do you have? You have an iPhone what?
I got an iPhone XR, and my wife, and of course, I have had an IT business doing IT for other businesses for a decade. I used Android because of all the tools that Android would load on. It was very flexible and powerful. But once I didn't do that anymore, and I didn't need those kind of tools, and I just needed functionality and ease of use and all that thing, man, this Mac and the battery, goodness gracious. I charge it up just because I feel like I ought to. It's like I feel guilty if I don't put a charger on it every now and then, but it's wonderful. And then I got these things here. I can wear these ear pods from my computer back over to my phone over here. It's all just been, the Mac stuff has been wonderful so far in my 6 months experience.
If I put those earbuds in, my tinnitus would be screaming inside of 30 minutes. I need real cans or there's no way I can handle it.
Well, they work for me. I tell you, and then going. Oh, she has real ones. We lost her.
Oh, yeah, she froze right up.
She froze. The real ones didn't want her to tell.
Wait.
There she is. Oh, no, you're back. I hear you now. Can you hear me? There you are. There you are. You froze. Now you're back, and you froze, and you're back. That's the cutest top of the head I've seen all day long.
I can hear you.
There you are.
No,
there you go.
We're having.
She's roboting.
Domo Origato, Mr. Roboto.
That's right. But I have to say, Leighann, up until this point, your internet did a much better job than the last time you were on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's frozen. She's still frozen.
Yeah. Oh no, I just saw movement.
I saw movement.
I sat and we had a glass of wine and walked.
There she is.
Oh, you're back. Good.
Well, I can't see. Oh. Are we all back?
Are we all back? Yes. The only one who left was you. We're wiggling though. I'm dancing.
Oh no! From my point of view, y'all left me.
Oh,
that's
it's a perspective
my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So if I close my eyes, you guys can't see me. That's cool.
Welcome to my world.
Well, you're back. So good.
I'm back.
All right. So I think, you know what, guys, it's been an hour and a half. I've really taxed you enough.
It
I
has.
apologize. This is a lot of fun though. You guys are fun. Of course, I would like to visit with Miss Leighann about other stuff, and I want to talk to you about other stuff, nerd stuff. I just don't want to kill the show. My wife, she really gets on to me if I kill the show with tech talk. You know what I mean? I blame her. See how brave I am? I blame her. Anyways, thank you guys both for being on the show. If you don't mind, again, can you tell us, Miss Leighann, how to see the show tonight for those of us who can make it?
Absolutely. It is 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can find it by going to Comedy Oakland. You could go on like a half an hour before just to sort of get your seat, and all that information on how to do that is available online at comedyoakland.com, as in Oakland, California.
Right. Got you. Excellent. And you're going to be, what time did you say again? I'm sorry. You said it. My bad.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm East Coast oriented, so it's 10 p.m. So when I get off with y'all, I'm gonna take a nap because I'm tired. And if you're on the West Coast, it's 7 p.m.
Okay, 10 Eastern. That's how I did my show in my normal time, and I quit doing it because nobody knew what time I was doing it. So, yeah, we could do tech. I would love doing tech talk with Jen and all these other people, but I'm not going to put our guests through it. So thank you guys for being on the show. I will see you later. I don't know if Miss Leighann will be back. I'll ask her. We'll see if her schedule permits. She might come back and do it again.
I would love to.
She says this. That's good. Because you're one of the favorites. People love you. You're awesome. So, and Dick, of course, we'd like to have
somebody's
Dick back
spirit animal.
That's right.
That was
Kristen's
awesome.
Spirit animal. Well, one of the things is, forgive me for running the show along. I'm sorry. You're a comedian, and you have a persona to build as a comedian. It's kind of part of the role of trying to become a comedian. And this YouTube platform is wonderful. So if you can get people to start shilling you and promoting you and helping you, I think that's wonderful. That's what we're all about. So go support Miss Leighann. Go. It was best name ever. Yeah. Go support Miss Leighann. Click the subscribe button on her YouTube channel. And of course the Shills. You guys are wonderful. All right. We're off to save the world. Have a great weekend.
Take care, everybody.
Guys.